morning. Welcome to the Darling Street Drop, your daily dose of spiritual encouragement and inspiration. Mark, how you doing?
Not too bad, Jono. How about you?
Yeah, I'm okay. We moved to teaching online yesterday, so I did my first day of teaching online, which was peculiar, but I guess a bit of fun.
Yeah, well, day one, I'm sure it's still fun. And, 6 months' time, let's see.
Yeah, we will see. Today we're going to talk about joy.
Yeah.
Mark, what do you know about joy?
What do I know about joy? Well, joy is complicated, isn't it? Like, what's the difference? I hear this from people all the time. What's the difference between joy and happiness? So I'll throw the question back to you, John.
Yeah.
You've got joy tattooed on your arm.
Yeah, I do.
Tell us the story about that.
I have joy tattooed on my arm, and the irony behind that tattoo is that it came from a time that was like not joyful. It was actually a really hard time in my life. So a friend of mine had just been arrested. Our house had been broken into, my family home, and my grandfather had died. And after the funeral, Dad said, it had been my birthday 3 days after we got robbed or something like that. I can't remember. And after my grandfather's funeral, my dad said, I know this is really poorly timed, but Pa wanted you to have this. And it was a birthday card. And in that birthday card was $100. And I said, all right, well, how am I going to make this last? And so I got this joy tattoo.
Wow.
With that money. Huh. And it sits on my arm to remind me that actually joy from a biblical point of view is completely different to happiness or joy from a worldly point of view.
Yep.
So we seem to use the word joy interchangeably or synonymously with happiness, but the Bible seems to make a distinction.
Yep.
Would you agree?
Yes, I think so. I do definitely think so, because joy is an internal state of being that can or cannot erupt into an emotional state.
Right.
But it's this fixed, settled state. I think it has to flow out into our emotions, but it's at a deeper level. It's what Jonathan Edwards would have called the affections, it's that sort of part. And so I thought, for me, the verse that has most shaped my thinking about joy is also the verse that Jonathan Edwards, in his very famous little book, little essay, A Treatise on the Religious Affections, was really an exposition of these verses. And it's from 1 Peter. So I'll share my favorite verse on joy, then you can share yours, and then you can have a think about yours. This is what it says. Though you have not seen him, that is Jesus, you love him. And even though you do not see him now, you believe in him and are filled with an inexpressible and glorious joy, for you are receiving the end result of your faith, the salvation of your souls. So in this crisis, in this situation, no matter what happens to us, and in your situation, Jono, those things can't rob us of our glorious and inexpressible joy, because that comes from our salvation. That comes from the fact that we love Jesus and he loves us and God is at work, and nothing, absolutely nothing, can touch that. So that's the challenge, to lean into that reality that actually starts to fill us with joy. What's your favorite verse?
Mine is Psalm 16, verse 11. You make known to me the path of life. You fill me with joy in your presence, with eternal pleasures at your right hand. So in that time when it was just an absolute mess, and my life got a whole lot worse, a whole lot more quickly after that. But the thing that I kept coming back to was the presence of God. And God's beautiful promise is that he will dwell with his people. And this verse is totally right. He filled me with joy in his presence. So as I was seeking God, I could find that joy once again.
That's amazing. Now, here's a thought I had as you were speaking. I thought joy isn't just dependent on personality types. Like, you and I are quite different.
Yes.
So I am, I'm an irrepressible optimist.
Yes.
I think you described me the other day in the office as Mr. Silver Lining. Was that right? Something like that.
I can't remember.
You made
that doesn't sound like something I would say.
No, not at all. Sure. Some affirming comment about my ability to be positive about pretty much anything.
Oh, you. I thought you were talking about me.
No,
yeah,
me.
Yeah,
no, not
totally.
you. No.
Silver Lining Leach, they call him.
Yeah, that's right.
It.
That's right. So my comment about this was, the positive for me was like, both my parents are dead and my brother's dead, so I don't have to worry about older parents dying of the virus. And
yes,
I'm just naturally, but you're not.
No, I would call myself more of a realist.
Yeah.
Which people often say is more pessimistic.
A depressive pessimist, perhaps.
Yeah, like Eeyore in Winnie the Pooh, with slightly less inflection in my voice. I don't know.
Yeah. But we still should, both of us, irrespective of personality types, pursue joy in Christ.
Oh, totally.
And that's got to be real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Irrespective. So wherever we are in terms of our own internal world and our external circumstances, this is the invitation today to find our deepest joy in God.
Yeah. Do you know I was named after Jonathan Edwards?
Were you?
My middle name was going to be Edward, but Jonathan Edward Webster would have had interesting initials, so my parents thought, let's not put him through that kind of level of
You
bullying.
might have been closer to being part of the,
The initial
People
part
of God.
People of
Yeah,
God.
there we go.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy to be a child of God by adoption rather than birth.
or naming.
Yeah. All right. We're divulging.
We are.
We'll see you tomorrow.
God bless.